Alright, that paint's dry now, so I'm going to go on to the third and final color, which is Apple Barrel's Country Tan. So, this is going to be a really light dry brush. So, okay, that's pretty much it. You basically want to paint it to your own taste. Dry brush it to your own taste, and this is about how I'm going to do it. So, do some cleanup here, and I'll get ready for the next step. Okay, you see I've cleared everything away here. Well, for this step, you're going to take like a piece of newspaper, or like in my case, just a piece of old brown packaging paper, because this stuff might get a little messy, and you want to be able. This will make for a really easy and quick cleanup. So, all right, here's where you're going to need your PVA glue and your flocking. Well, this is pretty simple, pretty easy, and you're also going to need a brush. There are a couple different ways you could do this. If you'd want to, you could water down your glue. I don't, but there's nothing that would hurt. Just basically get the glue down. No particular pattern you have to do it. Just get it on there. Alright. Might be enough. Alright, basically take your brush. I usually start from the middle and start working my way out. You just want to brush to the edge. Pretty easy, pretty quick, pretty simple. Not that hard. I don't like to water it down, the glue, because there's nothing wrong with it. I just personally feel I get a better hold if I don't water it down. Alright, threw my brush in. Now you want to get your flocking, static grass, whatever you want to put on here, doesn't matter. I'm just going to put down some flock. And pour it on. And as you can see, some of it's going over the edges, and that's why I said put the paper down, because it's going to get messy. So you don't have to worry about being neat. I put on way, way more than what's needed, and you'll see why in a minute. Alright, that's it for there. Put that off to the side. And I like to pat it down some. That way, you know, make sure it actually gets it in good contact. Now here's the part where you can either let it sit and dry like this, but if you're making this stuff, you're going to be making several pieces at a time, so you're not going to want to let it sit like this. Just take it over, give it a couple good taps, and this is where we're at right now. So I gotta let the glue dry. I'll get back, and then once that's dry, I'll show you what happens next. Alright, see you in a few. Okay, show you something while I'm waiting for the glue to dry on the other one. Okay, now you'll notice on this piece that I've got black dots marking out the individual hexes on the piece. Well, I'm going to show you how to make a quick and easy and very cheap template to make these dots and keep it lined up properly with each individual piece. Now, there's a couple ways you could do this. Now, you can order a template from a company called Litco, but that's a little on the expensive side, and I'm not going to go that route, but I'm going to show you a cheap route to go. This is where you're going to need your X-Acto knife. The sharper the better, but you only got a dull one. So, okay, now here's the template I use to actually cut the cut the piece of terrain out, and we're going to use this. Alright, now you're going to want to get a thumbtack or a push pin or a thumbtack, and let's zoom in a little here. Yeah, there we go. So you want to take the thumbtack, and basically you want to poke holes at each corner here, just to get the hole. Right now what I'm doing is making pilot holes. So let's get these done. And now, depending on whether or not you want to have, how many dots you want to have on the flats, is how many holes you're going to poke on the line. I'm lazy and I want to get it done as fast as I can, so I'm only going to put one dot in. So I want to kind of get it into the middle here, and let's be honest, I'm just going to eyeball it. Like I said here, I'm only doing one dot. You can do 2, 3, whatever, however many you want. But I like to stick with one, just because, well, like I said, I'm lazy. Okay, now I got those, but don't forget, you also have these here that you have to get. Alright, if you think you've gotten all the spots done, just flip it over and do a quick check. Let me see. And you can see that you have a basic hex pattern here. So, and I see that yep, I missed one spot here, so I'll just have to flip it over and get that spot, and then I'll be done making the pilot holes anyway. Alright, pilot holes are done, so let's make them a little bigger. This is what I'm going to use this for. Basically, I want to put them into pilot holes and just twirl around. You make the holes a little as big as you want. Like I said, this is just so you can help mark your hexes. And as you can see, I have a nice little quick template. I still have more holes to do, but you can get the general idea. I have a good template for marking, putting down the dots for marking out the individual hexes on any particular piece of terrain that I make. And right there, you can see the individual hexes there. And once the glue is dry on the piece, I'll show you how to play. I'll show you how I personally place hexes, or place the dots. All right, talk to you. All right. Well, the glue's dry enough that I can do this step. You want to have your paper down. You just basically want to brush off any excess flock. That's it. This is the whole step. So you can get a nice, so it's nice and smooth here. Get a little tap. And that's your piece. All that's left to do is actually put the dots for the hexes on and mat sealing. So let me clean up this mess, and then I'll get right to it. Okay. You want to take the template that I can't. Yeah, you want to take this template that you made up earlier and line it up on the hill. The only problem is you're not going to be able... You're not really going to be able to use anything. You're going to have to use your fingers to hold it. But, it's on a flat surface and it really won't be moving around much. So, for this I'm going to be using black dots. So, alright, I got this lined up pretty well. So, you just take your, I got a black Sharpie here, and poke through the holes. I mean, that's really how simple it is. Now, the thing is, after this, you're probably going to have to go back. After you're done doing this, you're going to have to go back and then touch up each individual dot. Because this is really just a guide for where your dots are going to go. Actually, that came out pretty good. I don't know if you can tell. But if you want to make your dots bigger, but yeah, I'll be going over these dots again because some of them are a little on the small side. I just want them bigger or more defined so you can see them easier. But yeah, this is just about done. And there's your dots. So yeah, only step I have left is to take some mat sealer. You can use any brand you want because you're only going to be painting the surface rail here to seal it in. Don't worry about damaging the foam because you've gotten several layers of paint on. And it's really not going to eat its way through to hurt the foam at all. So the mat sealer is just to, like I said, will give an added layer of protection to it, and will hold down the flock a lot better. Let me mat seal it, and then I'll show you the final product. All right, it's mat sealed. Everything's done. And this piece is ready to go on the tabletop. Now, I've got a Word of Blake Prada mech here, just to give you an idea of how it looks, an eagle eyes view. So, as you can see, it shows up pretty good. The hexes, no one can argue about the hexes here. This is, like I said, this is a 1-inch thick piece. So, let me see here. Okay, yeah, 1 inch. So that would and game turns, and for Battletech that would be level 1 hill. And the thing about when making this system is you can stack these on top of each other. You can put them next to each other. They interlock, and it's an incredibly modular system that you can set up in so many different ways that you do enough different pieces like this. You know, not just one shape. You know, this is just, you know, I did this shape just to show you guys the basic process of making this stuff. But you can set up canyons. I mean, there isn't there's not much you can't do. And if you want to make a level 2 hill, make a piece that's a solid piece that's level 2, just use some 2-inch foam. There's nothing saying that you have to do it the way I did. You don't have to use 1 inch. If you want to use a thinner piece, that's fine. This is just how I use. 1 inch seems to work great for the individual levels for gameplay. But yeah, you can use whatever thickness you want. I've got some pieces that are actually 3 inches tall. That you know I use if I'm gonna build like a really big mountain or a really large hill. It's just I use those to quickly fill up so I don't have to set up a whole lot of these. But like I said, you can put another piece on top of this with the same size hexes and just line it up to the hexes on here, and it's going to work fine. I do this all the time. Actually, you know what? If you go to my playlist down below, check out my playlist, the different games that I have set up. All those hills were made using the same system here. Check out my video, Grand Melee Table at Historicon 2010. Again, same system that I use. The same hill. All the hills you see were made in the same manner. Now, granted, all my hills are 1.5 inch hex from flat to flat. When I say size, I'm talking about from flat edge. But all mine are 1.5 inch. I'm making these hills for this particular piece of hill is going to be given to the guys at BV Traders. But they play on 2-inch, so you know that's what I made for them. And actually, the old GeoHex stuff, GeoHex hills, they're 2-inch, and you could put them in with you make this with the 2-inch hex, and you can mix it in with the old GeoHex terrain that a lot of people still have. But that's it.